Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. There have been a number of new entries on the case summary page maintained by the clerk of court in Ada County in Idaho versus Kohberger. If you look at the very first item on page 105, it says July 23rd, 2025. Case closed. Preceding that entry on the case summary page are a number of other entries. They begin towards the bottom of page 102. If you look at the first entry for July 23rd, 2025, you'll see a notation sentencing. 9 o'clock a.m. Judicial Officer Judge Stephen Hippler. Mr. Kohberger's sentencing hearing happened today, July 23rd, 2025, live in Judge Hippler's courtroom. And following the conclusion of that sentencing proceeding, there were a number of items that were entered that pertain to this case. If you look directly under the notation of sentencing, you will see, number one, an order. It is a PDF icon next to it that tells us that this is a public record. It should be hitting the docket in the next day or two, hopefully. It has not yet. It is an order to transport defendant directly to the Department of Corrections. This appears to demonstrate that Judge Hippler has already signed the order to take Mr. Kohberger from the Ada County Jail, where he has been housed continuously since September 2024, when Judge John Judge in Idaho County, which is where this case originated, signed an order granting Mr. Kohberger's motion for change of venue. The venue for the proceeding was changed from Idaho to Ada County, and when that happened in September of 2024, not only the entire case, but Mr. Kohberger was also transported from the Idaho County to the Ada County Jail. This order of the 23rd of July indicates that Mr. Kohberger was ordered to be transported directly to the Idaho Department of Corrections. The next three items at the bottom of page 102 and the first four items at the top of page 103 have a lock and key icon next to it. That means that this is under seal. It is not a public document. None of these seven are. They will not be released to the public until or unless Judge Hippler unseals them. It is order modifying, amending, no contact order, repeated 7 times. This is likely with respect to the recent July 17th motion filed by the state of Idaho seeking to extend all no contact orders prohibiting Mr. Kohberger from contacting any of the recipients of those no contact orders. They were currently in place through January 2027. The state was seeking a 99-year extension of time. There appears to be no filing from the defense responding or opposing that motion. So it appears that it was an unopposed motion and the court granted. Now, how long? It is unknown if the state was granted the entire 99-year extension or some period of time different. But we do know that there are 7 orders here modifying, amending no contact orders. Next, PDF icon telling us that this is a public record. This is the court minutes from the sentencing proceeding. Next, also a public document, judgment of conviction and order of commitment rendered by Judicial Officer Judge Hippler. This is likely the written document memorializing the entry of the conviction regarding the 5 criminal counts that Mr. Kohberger pled guilty to back on July 2nd, 2025, and order of commitment. Next, exhibit list / log. This is also a public record. When these public records hit the docket, we will notify you. The next entries have to do with the disposition of the 5 counts. They are written right here on the case summary page. Count 1, burglary, guilty, plea agreement. Count 2, unaliving first degree, guilty, plea agreement. Count 3, unaliving first degree, guilty, plea agreement. Count 4, unaliving first degree, guilty, plea agreement. And count 5, unaliving first degree, guilty, plea agreement. The next notations at the bottom of page 103, taking us into 104, document the sentences for the 5 counts, beginning with count 1, burglary. Felony sentence, confinement type, state prison, facility, Idaho Department of Corrections. Effective date, July 23rd, 2025, for 10 years, consecutive with other charges. In this case, pre-sentence credit for time served. That would indicate that Mr. Kohberger would get credit for the time that he has been incarcerated, which is a little over 2.5 years. Next are the 4 counts for first degree unaliving, and they are duplicate. For counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, unaliving in the first degree, felony sentence, confinement, state prison, and then continuing on to page 104. Facility, Idaho Department of Correction. Effective date, July 23rd, 2025. Life, consecutive with other charges in this case. Pre-sentence credit for time served. Comment, no possibility of parole. And then it goes into the fees and costs that have been assessed. $245 for costs, fines $50,000 for a total $50,245.50. In going back to the burglary count, there were also fees and costs in the amount of $50,245.50. Going on now to page 105, as we've indicated, there's a notation at the very top of the page indicating case closed. And then if you skip down to the bottom, there is financial information section. Defendant Brian C. Kohberger, total charges $251,227.50. Total payments and credits, 0, leaving a balance due As of July 23rd, 2025, $251,227.50. We will keep you posted when the public records hit the docket. We will also notify you if and when we start to see any activity related to the court's promise and statement that he made at the last hearing of the 17th of July, the media's motion to set aside the gag order, when Judge Hippler said he would be going through the docket and looking to see what could be unsealed in this case. There are a large number of documents that have been withheld from the public for over 2.5 years now. And with Mr. Kohberger being sentenced, we are hopeful that those documents will be released sooner rather than later. This is Kathy. Thank you for joining us today.